David Kent. I'm the Utilities Director for the City of Quincy.
Okay, David. A lot going on today regarding the water situation. Number one, what have you been dealing with today?
What we've been dealing with is a lot of panic from our consumers based upon a Facebook posting that said that a small child, had to be airlifted to St. Louis Children's Hospital as a result of ingesting city water. And a statement that was issued, something to the fact that the reason for the child's illness was due to ingesting city water. That, I can say to you emphatically, is an unsubstantiated claim. We've had no personal contact with any family members. We've had no contact with any physician. We've had no contact with Blessing Hospital. We've had no contact with Children's Hospital or any local physicians or any physicians at St. Louis Children's Hospital to verify any of this.
Okay, so we're not saying it's not possible, we're saying it is unsubstantiated at this time.
It's unsubstantiated, and basically the Facebook article made reference to an adenovirus. I'm not a medical person, but an adenovirus is a respiratory virus. It's usually due to contact between people which have some sort of a viral type of infection, or it can be transmitted through water sources that haven't been disinfected or haven't received adequate disinfection, like swimming pools, things such as this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry about
Technology.
that.
No problem.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact.
No problem. Okay, so let me ask you. We talked earlier this week.
Yes, we did.
About what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Talk to me about the safety of the water as it stands right now, based upon what's going on.
What's going on right now? Of course, I gave a report to the members of the Quincy City Council on Monday night. Nothing that I've said to them has changed. As far as the safety of the city water is concerned, we have various rigorous testing requirements that we're required to do on a daily basis. Those testing results have to go into the state EPA. We also have to make very stringent disinfection requirements in our whole treatment process. We have to meet what we call a 4-log inactivation. And what that means is it assures that our water is basically 99.999% free of any viruses or any pathogens. We consistently meet that, Stephen, on a daily basis.
Okay, so even with the situation as it is, you are still meeting those criteria.
Absolutely. The only thing different that we're doing in the treatment process now is we're adding powdered activated carbon to try and address this earthy taste and odor problem that is generated as a result of the low river stage and a result of the brown algae coming in contact with chlorine as it's going through the disinfection process. I also probably need to state that some of our customers think when I mention algae that we're actually sending algae out in the water. We're not sending algae out in the water. We're receiving algae from our raw water source and we're settling that out early in the treatment process. So we're not sending any algae, we're not sending anything different than we've ever sent out to our consumers.
Okay, so then the algae is coming from the natural water source that
Yes.
you're getting the water.
Right.
You're getting rid of that, but the effect of the algae in the water is causing the smell. And
That in coming in contact with chlorine, correct. So then once that odor is generated, we have to add powdered activated carbon to various parts of the treatment process as the water goes through the different treatment trains before it's sent out to the consumers.
How important is it for you as a representative of the city and obviously a representative of the water department to get out front of this thing and talk about it? In one very short day, it seems like this whole thing has just blossomed into a massive thing. We've got health department calls, all kinds of things going on.
Yes, it has. It's very unfortunate, and I attribute that to a combination of suspicion because the water tastes different. It may taste different, but I assure you it is safe to drink. If it wasn't safe to drink, I'd probably be spending some time in the penitentiary, because I'm a licensed certified operator, and everything that I have to do, I have to certify under oath that everything is right and proper as I send it into the agency every month. We do have reporting requirements that we're obligated to our customers to make them aware if there's anything from a boil order, if the pressure drops before the line. I know you're all familiar with the numerous boil orders that we have to issue, no matter what time of the day or night it is. We have other reporting requirements to the Safe Drinking Water Act. And of primary importance that everybody has to understand is, if there's something wrong with our drinking water, we don't hide it. We are obligated by law to make our consumers aware of it.
Okay, so you are following the proper procedures that have been established by law for you to address this problem, deal with this problem, and get the city past this problem, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, Stephen.
Okay. How much of a challenge has it been for you and your agency today dealing with all of this that's come about? How much of a hardship, how much of a challenge has it been for you?
It's been a challenge because we've had to make various changes in the treatment flow process itself. We've had to adjust various chemicals that we normally feed at a preset level, and we have to make sure that we can feed the powder activated carbon at several location points in the plant, so that we can optimize its usage and to take as much of the odor and the earthy taste out as we possibly can.
Now, you and I have talked about this, but as just a part of this interview, we're talking about the water turnover and like the mains and stuff like that, that is not coming directly out of the plant.
That's correct.
And you're having to add the powder activated carbon in more locations, correct?
Basically, why people are still complaining about this, we have a large distribution system. We have a large storage reservoir. We have several elevated storage tanks. So what we have is a situation for about a week, maybe 7 or 8 days, where we have a residual water that remains out there. Well, yes, it was treated at the treatment plant, but it wasn't exposed to the powder activated carbon. So it had all the normal components of what the norm of the water would be, but it did have this taste and odor. So what's happening is, people are drawing water in, and we still have a residual in our system that we need to turn off. Depending upon what the location is, that's going to determine how long it's going to take for that taste to actually be removed from the system itself.
Okay. With boil orders, one of the important things is, once the boil order or once the issue is addressed, there's a 48-hour boil order in effect to deal with that. Is there anything that people can do in their home to address this themselves? Like, can they boil their water? Can they do anything to get any of this rid of this?
Boiling does nothing to it. This odor has to be absorbed, and the recognized method to absorb it is through powdered activated carbon. Okay. You see these what we call a POU, or point of use, where people put things on their drinking faucets, to make them taste better, or maybe to remove fluoride or something. These units usually have powder activated carbon in them.
Okay. Okay. So again, it's got to be something that is added to the water.
That's
it's not
correct.
Something that you can just boil it at home, like we
No,
were saying, or something
you would
like that.
no, absolutely not. You only do a boiling situation if you're subject to bacterial contamination, and what the boiling does is it rises the temperature of the water to a point where it kills the bacteria.
Okay. Now, we talked earlier this week, you said there's no way to know when this problem will really be officially done and dealt with, because you're dealing with water flow and stuff like that. Is there a target window that you guys are looking at in terms of a week, 2 weeks, a month, anything like that?
Basically, Stephen, what we have done is we've actually taken some of our raw water samples and sent them to a private testing laboratory to determine the concentrations of these odor generating compounds. Once we get the results of those tests, we'll have a better indication of how long it will take for this odor and taste to dissipate. I can't give you an answer right now at the time.
That's fine. Do you know when you'll get those results back?
We just submitted the sample. We were having trouble finding a laboratory that would do this, because it's a very specialized test to run. It's a test on what they call geosmin, Geosmin, and another compound that generates these odors when the algae die and when the chlorine comes in contact with them. So it'll take a while.
This is an odd question, but I'm just going to ask it to you anyway. Does it bother you that there's so much rumor in question that burned up around this when you've kind of already stated to the public in
It
several media avenues that the water is safe, there is an issue, it is being addressed? Does it bother you that this is still kind of stirring up and has gotten re-stirred up today?
It really does. It really does. I think anytime people taste something in their drinking water, there is some sort of a mental thing that says, well, gee, you know, if it's okay to drink, I shouldn't be able to taste this. Well, that's not necessarily the case. And yes, it does bother us. I think one of the reasons why I'm here today is to reassure the public that our drinking water, potable water, has not been compromised, that it is absolutely 100% safe to drink.
Okay.
And
Now, I will flip this over and be the devil's advocate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can understand, though, why people would be concerned with funny smelling, funny tasting water.
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, and that's why we're feeding these massive doses of carbon to try and counteract that and try and get it back to normal as quickly as we possibly can. I completely understand that, but I also think that there has to be some degree of faith in your public officials that are supervising the operation of the water supply.
Okay, very good. Finally, my last thing for you, Dave. Speaking to the citizens who you serve, what will you say to them today about the whole situation today, the media stuff, the Facebook stuff, all this stuff, and the situation as it stands right now at this moment?
What I would say is the article on Facebook is unsubstantiated. We have not been contacted. When I say we, I mean the city of Quincy, the Illinois EPA, the Illinois Department of Public Health, Blessing Hospital, the local physicians. I've had no contact or any concerns expressed by any local physicians or any St. Louis physicians that they would in any way think that our water source contributed to the problem with this infant. I would say that the water is absolutely safe to drink. We are working diligently on trying to resolve the taste and odor issue, and we will continue to do so until we overcome it.